Hi, this is Teddy. I hope everybody is well. Today I'm going to show you in three different places on Facebook how to contribute or share a URL, a link to an article or a video or any content online. I'm going to show you how to share it a little better and a little differently than everyone else so that when your content is seen, then your audience is more likely to read it and perceive you as an authority because of A, what you shared, and B, how you shared it. So again, I'm going to show this to you in your profile, in a page, and in a group. So normally when you're reading a blog, if you go to the bottom of the blog, you'll see that the sharing buttons are there. I don't use these all the time, especially if I want to do it a little differently, a little better than everyone else. So what I did was I grabbed the URL, highlighted it, Control-C. So I'm going to go to my Facebook personal profile. And here I am on my timeline. I'm going to paste that URL. I'll wait for it to resolve. There it resolved. And then I'm going to get rid of what I pasted. And I'm going to put my editorial. Fabulous read about the 16 best practices for engaging on Facebook. Do you know of any other best practices? A little bit of a call to action. Read it and tell me what you think. So now that's what's called my editorial. Why is this important to read? Because it's a really good read about best practices for engaging on Facebook. And I want to know what your thoughts are. That's why I'm sharing that. I could have said I think it could help you, it could be beneficial. Any good editorial reason for why you are sharing it. The second thing I had the ability to do is change the title of the article. I could write 16 best practices for valuable Facebook engagement. 16 best practices for valuable Facebook engagement. The third thing I had the ability when I share a URL is to change the excerpt that came from the article. And I could write something along the lines of, I fully enjoyed and benefited from this article about 16 best practices for Facebook engagement. I had the ability when I share a URL to post my editorial, why should you read this? I had the ability to change the title if you want to give it a little bit more punch. Best practices, I think, is a better phrase. And finally, I had the ability when I share it on my personal profile to change the excerpt. Never deviate from the truth of the article, but you do have the ability to add a little more value to it if you want. So that's sharing. I could hit post if I wanted to, sharing on my personal profile. So I'm going to go to my business page and do the same activity on my business page. Post the URL, or paste it, excuse me. It resolves. Get rid of the URL. Post my editorial, 16 best practices for Facebook engagement, a must read for all serious social engagers. I can change my title here for the editorial, 16 best practices for Facebook engagement. I can change I can change the excerpt that came from the blog. Facebook engagement is a key. I enjoyed reading this article with the 16 best practices for Facebook engagement. They are key if you want to create success from your social media investment. One more thing I had the ability to do from a page that I don't have the ability to do from my profile is I can upload an image. I can replace the image that came, pull an image from somewhere else. Again, it should be an image that's very relevant to that article, and then I can post it. Bottom line, on a Facebook page, I have the ability to do the same things. I can change. I put my editorial. I edit my title if I want to. I can edit the excerpt, but the additional thing you do from a page is add a different image relevant to that article. One more thing to show you is that is on a Facebook group. Let me go to this group. And on this group, I can paste the URL, let it resolve, and in a group, it's similar to posting on your Facebook profile. I can put my editorial, 16 best practices for Facebook, for valuable Facebook engagement. I can change the title if I want to, 16 best practices for Facebook engagement. And I can change the excerpt if I want to. A must read for anyone serious about social engagement. A must read for anyone serious about social engagement. Facebook engagement is key. And I can post that. So, again, on Facebook, whether it's your personal profile, in a group, or your business page or group page, you have the ability to share content. You always have the ability and should use an excerpt. You have the ability to change the title if you want to give it a little bit more oomph. You have the ability to change the excerpt if you want to get rid of often the advertisements, the source of the article, etc., in the excerpt. You don't need to have that in the excerpt. And thirdly, on a page, you have the ability to change the image, unlike on a profile in a group. So, social media engagement, do it a little differently and a little better, and I hope that you get value from this.